to become a better individual, to become a better professional. This is something which we all need to desperately learn. When it comes to being organized, I think we all have some or the other area where we can do better. We all realize that we lose a great deal of time because of disorganization. A minute here to find the keys, another there to track a particular email. Now, those minutes can really count up to hours, can count up to days, and lead us to lose productivity. And even if we manage to get everything done, we have probably not produced our best work because we have been distracted. So friends, today's session is very important as it is going to teach us about a technique which helps us become more organized. It's known as 5S technique. It would help us declutter, take control, and achieve more at work. And to guide us on what this technique is all about and how it is, why it is important, how we can learn and implement it in our daily lives, we have someone who is an expert at this. Mr. Rajeev Bhargava is an engineer and business management graduate from BITS Pilani. He has a wide experience in the areas of international management systems of quality, environment, safety, health, and energy. He has worked with RR Cable as Senior Vice President, Business Excellence. He is Associate Director with HEMA Foundation. Sir is a member of national and international committees on energy management. As a recipient of Overseas Technical Scholarship Program of Japan, he has received training in Tokyo and Yokohama. People in industry dream of visiting Toyota Motors in Japan, which is the most visited company in the world. And Sir has visited this company and 25 other manufacturing companies in Japan. With a penchant for Japanese management systems, his insights on subjects like 5S, 7QC tools are very much sought. I think I can add Six Sigma also to this list. So friends,
Yes.
without any further delay, I would like Bhargava sir to enlighten us on this self-management technique of 5S, which I remember he once told me is one of the most important skills of this century. It's important for us to have the skill of being able to locate the information we want, to retrieve the information that we want at the right time in the most efficient manner. So we all are eager to learn this technique from you, sir. Once again, expressing my gratitude and welcome on behalf of the entire Ramratna International School family. The stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, madam. I'll straight away go to the presentation. So I also thank you for inviting me to this elite forum, Aadharshila. I have no words of appreciation when I saw the introductory movie that you have made for this. It is amazing. And the work that you do, the creativity that goes into your work, it is awesome. So that is something to be emulated. You know, people should learn from you. So now
So
we go
because you have
to
said this, I would just like to add here for everybody's information that there is some part that I owe to Sir as a professional. You know, I have been trained under him for audits, internal audits. Sir might not remember it because it was almost 13, 14 years back when I was working in Ramratna Vidya Mandir as a teacher, as a HOD. Sir had trained me for internal audit. And I think that has making me what I'm today. Your
thank you.
student hopefully makes you a little proud.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Yeah. So now you can see the screen. Okay. So what we are going to talk today is about the relevance and insights of 5S. I'm not going to tell you what really 5S is, you know. So that material I can send to you still. I have sent you one booklet on 5S, and still more literature can come to you on what it is. So one question that I'll ask all of you is there a day that passes by when you do not spend a single minute searching for something? And what is this something? It could be your keys, as madam mentioned just now, the right key from a bunch of keys. It can be a small device, a mobile, a pen, or it can be a document or information, a file in your computer, even a pair of socks. If you have got too many socks, different color socks, how to get a pair of socks right away in one go. So you have all kind of things, which we are always looking for. And the most important of them is getting into your computer, the files in your computer, a document to be retrieved from your computer. So here are some facts Jaya madam has already mentioned, but we'll go through them. See, we spend an average of 5,000 hours looking for things around at home. Now, this is a fact which is recorded by IKEA. It's a Swedish company. So, 5,000 hours, it means how many days? It means 208 days straight away are wasted on looking for things. Employees spend 1.8 hours every day searching and gathering information. That is 9.3 hours per week. That is McKinsey report. And WhatsApp users spend 30 minutes every day to refer to information of previous days. The spelling is wrong here, but please ignore it. So what happens? Some information comes on, say, madam sent me information on this meeting, and the Google link was mentioned. So what did I do straight away? I noted that link on my notebook, and that is it. So there is no question of referring back to that message. Now, if this is the kind of state, uh, what does it result into? You see a picture here, so you see a person expressing a lot of anxiety, irritation, maybe stress, sometimes embarrassment. So all kind of tension would build up, and to put it into an arithmetical form, the tension that builds up is directly proportional to the urgency of the thing that you are looking for, or it also depends on for whom you are searching the information for. So if it is your boss, then it becomes very important as well as urgent. So that is the kind of situation which can result not on a daily basis or maybe on a weekly basis, but this needs to be avoided. So what should be our goal of understanding 5S and following 5S into our daily lives? Number one, we should learn 5S to add or multiply our joys and happiness. This will happen as you will see later, and there are ways to do it. And on the negative side, you to subtract or divide anxiety and stress, eliminate it ultimately. So this is going to be our 5S goal. Now, before I go further, let me just take you through some photographs of the training center in Japan, Tokyo Kenshu Center. Kenshu is the word for learning, Japanese word for learning. So each picture that I'm showing, it is for some purpose. So this is AOTS uh, Learning Center in Tokyo. The other one that I have been to is in Yokohama. And then you see a lot of all the buildings that I'm showing you, they are very tall. So this is to dispel the idea that Japan has the largest number of earthquakes in the world. Almost 5,000 earthquakes come every year, of which almost 160 are severe. But despite that, the buildings we see, they are very, very tall, and the kind of mastery that Japanese have done in construction technology, it is amazing. Okay, so that is the purpose of showing these pictures. This is the key of the room in which I was staying, room number 623. What I want to show you is the uh, identification mark that has been done at 3 places. AOTS, take you see here, 623, 623. On the other side, also 623. So whichever manner the keychain is put into the drawer, the receptionist keeps in the drawer, he'll be able or she'll be able to retrieve it immediately, because you don't have to turn the keychain upside down or reverse. So this is something, a practice which is related to add our joy and happiness, related to 5S. Can you tell what is this supposed to be? You see a number. What number? Can somebody respond?
Maybe the floor number.
Yeah, what
Is
is
it
it?
the floor
Yeah,
number?
yeah, floor number. What
Actually,
number?
you're asking which number. Oh, okay. I think it's going to be different for the person coming out of the lift and the person getting into the lift.
Right, right. So this is not 9. And see, this is what you are getting out from the lift, and you see the number on the floor. Nothing, no instructions are written on the wall, or where you to raise your neck and see or read something. Most of the time, 90% of the time, we are looking at the ground with the head lowered down. So in Japan, all the instructions, everything on the railway station, if you see the coach number, they are all very well written on the ground. So this is something which leads to a good practice. This is the room in which I was there, and what I want to show you here is the panel just behind. And what you see is this kind of a thing. You have lights. There is identification for everything. Then above that is your radio station numbers. So you don't have to look for which is for the room, which light is for the bed. Everything is very visually managed. This is one of the buses that used to ply us, and why I'm showing this is for a reason. Uh, the bus driver, there are no conductors there. You see what bus driver does when the bus stops at some station, wherever he gets down, wherever he stops, he will just go and he'll clean the rims of the wheel, make it shine thoroughly, and he'll insert his finger even right inside to see that there is no dust at any given point of time. So this is the penchant that they have for cleanliness and keeping themselves their vehicle or their instruments equipments in a nice condition. You notice his shirt. He's wearing a spotless white shirt, unlike the Indian drivers, where we feel that the operators or drivers should be given a blue color uniform or a gray color uniform. Even when in our factories we follow a practice, we have never given a white shirt to a machine operator, just because of the fear that they will get it dirty with the grease or with some dust there. But not in Japan. Japanese again have a penchant for lot of games. Now this is one game which was given to us to make a rat out of the arrange the pieces of paper to make a rat out of this. Now this puzzle I'm showing you to emphasize the out of box thinking that goes. We tried our best. We couldn't make the shape of a rat, but then they showed us, look, the rat is inside. It is not going to form a picture outside. The rat that will be formed is in the shape inside here. You can see that, right? So this is about lot of visual management things that we saw in Toyota Motors. I'm showing this to emphasize the human resource aspect, to emphasize the kind of people management that they have in all the Japanese companies. And if I'll just read it, since it is people who manufacture things, manufacturing is impossible unless people are developed. Based on this philosophy, Toyota has been working on human resources development ever since its founding. Human resources developed through continuous improvements on Genchi Genbetsu principle. And this is what I think Aadharshila is also doing, developing people. The next one, we set high targets and then push ourselves to achieve them through a process of continuous improvement called Kaizen. So Kaizen also is one subject which we can talk at length. But these are good human resource practices. Now, TPS system, fundamental principle of customer first, is alive in Toyota plants with Judoka and just in time. These are the pillars of TQM. One very important thing that Japanese want to eliminate through 5S, through 7QZ tools is Muda. Muda is any kind of wastage, any kind of waste. That is the whole objective of following all good techniques. The other one I'll read is there is no limit to how far human wisdom can be developed. Within the company, we continually aim to achieve mutual understanding, fulfill mutual responsibilities, and combine the power of our individual employees. Respect for people is the attitude that regards people's ability to think most. This is very, very important. And uh, we at RR Kabul have been following this ever since I came back from Japan and in 2009 and 2010. And this is one very important value that every organization must follow. Unless there is respect for people, I think things will not work out. This is a picture of a railway station, Chinchugta. What I'm trying to show here is this station is not managed by anyone, any human being. No person is managing ticketing or your exit or entry into the platform. Even the trains that run here, they are driverless trains. So everything is in auto mode, and automation is of a very high level in Japan. Even that there are no shops selling cold drinks or anything. You have a lot of kiosks, 100 meters distance. You have a lot of kiosks which are automated. You just put a coin and you get things there. This is the station. This is a practice which was followed in Japan. Now it is also in Mumbai. You have the position of the railway station there, and then all the stations that are there on the other side. The distances are mentioned, and it is a beautiful system that I saw recently in Mumbai also. Locals. This is. Can you guess what it is? This is the best railway timetable that I have seen. If you saw the railway timetable for Mumbai locals, it comes in a booklet form, and a lot of 634, 642 something is written here. What you see is the hours mentioned right from 1 to 0, and the minutes on the right hand side. So there's a train at 5:24, 5:33, 5:43, 5:51. So this is what is the creativity. This is the uh, railway timetable which is there for the trains. Yeah, I would like you to comment on this picture. Uh, you are seeing one picture here which I made. Can anybody comment on this? See, uh, the picture here says that you never miss out on in a jungle. If you're in a jungle, you never miss out on an elephant. You will miss a mouse, right? So this is what will happen in your kitchen. You will not miss out on a pressure cooker, but you will miss its weight. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to really take care of small things first. You know, the things which are big in size, and then you don't miss them. You don't have to manage. It's the small things that needs to be managed. And what are the small things? I'll be showing my practices. How do I manage small things? See, I've got a set of pen drives. First of all, you will lose pen drive if you do not try to magnify the pen drive by tying it with a ribbon. And if you got the pen drives of the same color, same make, then it is very important to identify with some kind of tagging. So what I've done is for each of the pen drives, I put a number, and then what contents are there, I have noted down in a small diary. So identifying your objects to avoid confusion, this is very, very important. These are again pen drives which I use usually, and I've made them. I've magnified the size where they will never get lost. This is the drawer which was there, my drawer in the office. And if you ask me to give a pen or a highlighter, it'll take quite some time. If this is a condition, okay. So what 5S will tell you is we need to organize it in a manner where the retrieval time is coming to few seconds rather than a minute, or maybe you will have to shuffle through many things. That should never happen. This is uh, this is a switchboard which is there for my printer, for my laptop, table lamp, everything. Now if you have to switch on a printer, if I ask you to switch on the printer, you will not be able to do it. So what improvement has been done is now you have got identification for every switch there, and you will never miss out on picking the right one in the first go, in doing the right thing first time. Now, what do you think of this photo here? You see, there is a very intelligent person sitting here in this room, the room that you see. But you also see a lot of clutter. You will also see maybe a lot of chaos. So there's one important thing here. It is the bad things that prevent good things from getting visible, and we have to see that these bad things get eliminated, get removed, so that good things are visible. Okay. So now we come to the certain strategies that we can put to use. So the first thing is to understand is the worth of any item should be decided based on the utility and not the cost. So if something is very expensive, but it is of no use to me, uh, it has no meaning, right? So our sorting, when we sort out things, it has to be based on this criteria. Something we have kept for years together, and it is costly, of course, but we are not using it. So that it is becoming unworthy. The first principle for us to remember is what is called place for everything and everything in its place. When we are trying to organize ourselves, we have to remember that everything that we are using must have a definite place for storage, and having assigned the place, it should always be kept there. So in factories, this is what we do for a particular set of tools. We have made a lot of boards like this. So if a spanner is not there, we have even mentioned the size of the spanner. So if a particular spanner is not there, it means two things. Either it is taken away by somebody for use, and if it has not been taken by anybody, then it is lost. Okay. So this is the kind of organization that can come about with PEEP, place for everything, everything in its place. We have in factory space assigned for keeping our forklifts, trolleys, everything. So a good sense of organization comes when things are kept at their assigned places. The best examples of PEEP that will come immediately to our minds are in the kitchen. See, the housewife, the way they maintain and they keep storage of the things in kitchen is amazing. If it were not there, and if the wife goes to her maika, and if you to make if husband has to make tea, then he will phone on mobile. Where is the tea? Where is the sugar? Or where's the milk? So uh, since there are fixed assigned places for everything, um, it is very easy for not only the housewife, even for the children, even for the spouse to get hold of the things in the kitchen. Medical stores is the best example of place for everything, everything in place. Would you buy a medicine from a store where the person who is managing the store he'll take your prescription and then he'll run about here and there looking for the medicine? Would you ever buy medicine from that store who takes 2, 3, 4 minutes to just locate one single medicine? Never. So that is another example of PEEP. Good example of PEEP is superstores, where there are assigned places for toiletries, there are assigned places for food and provisions. Everything is there, very well stacked at the assigned places. Or another example for a place for everything is places, airline counters at the airport. If you go to an international airport, you will see hundreds of airlines, and then you have fixed counters for them. That's also an example of PEEP. The rules that we have to follow while we do storage is very simple. Eye level is very, very important, and the frequency of use should decide where you are going to store your goods or objects. So every day, what you use is to be kept at eye level within easy reach, right? And something which is used less frequently can go on a upper shelf, lower shelf of your storage bin. So that is the kind of rule that we have to follow. So eye level is very, very important. The things that we need on an everyday basis, they should be within easy visibility, and they should be easily visible. The second rule is drift. Do it right the first time. What do we mean by that? So, to explain to you, let us take the common example. I have to, somebody will ask me to put on the fan. Now, if there are going to be 8 switches to press, what do I do? It will be hit and trial. The first thing is I'll select the one which is near the regulator. The top one, if I do, it won't work. Then I come to bottom one, then it might work. So the best thing to do is have some kind of identification here. You know, so that will reduce the chances of fumbling with the switches. Doing it right the first time is what we need. Using the right key from the bunch of keys. Now, if you've got too many keys, if you've got 5, 6 keys, and in one go, I have to select the key which will open the door. How do I do it? And believe me, we have put these in practice in our factory and even at home. What we should do is we should put some kind of identification. Color is the best scheme. Color schemes are very good here. You put some kind of color identification which will tell me this is the key to be picked. So doing it right the first time is very, very important. This particular concept can be extended to many things in our daily lives. So we'll come to it when we have a question and answer session. But keep your questions ready based for every concept that we are talking. One touch and go. This is very important. What it means is uh, I should decide and do the thing right now. I should not postpone it to the next moment. This especially happens when I go through many mails, and I come across a mail which is very important and which needs some kind of say note making from me or an action to be taken by me. What I will do is I'll take the action right there and then. The example for this is even the WhatsApp message. When Jaya Madam sent the WhatsApp message telling me about the link to be for this Google Meet, I have immediately noted it down. I have not let it remain to back refer. Back reference is something which we must avoid. Do not revisit or refer back again to a letter, to an email. कि बाद में देख लेंगे, बाद में कर लेंगे. Then when you 100 mails, you have to spend time going to a particular mail that you are looking for. You have to scroll through too many mails, and that is resulting into a waste of time. And if you don't get it in one go, second time you go, third time you go, and it will build up some kind of irritation. Zoom meeting IDs, I have already told you. So one touch and go means whatever action is required from my end for a particular thing, for a particular mail, it has to be done right away. It has not to be postponed to the second or third moment. Got an idea? Note it down. This is very important. See, we have to remember so many things in our mind. So if you just get an idea, the best thing to do is to note it down, so that you will not have to strain your mind unnecessarily. Because once you try to recollect, trying to recollect will also lead to build up of anxiety, stress, if particularly when you are not able to recall. So do not stress your mind in remembering or recalling things immediately. And one good habit here is always have a pen or a pencil and a notebook with you all the time. I, for one, even if I have to go and meet the boss or anybody, one thing which is always there in my possession is a small notebook and a pen. This is a very good practice which we must follow. And we have to use visual management techniques as far as possible. There are many techniques that are used in the factories for visual management. That and visual management is, of course, very well used in Ram Ratna International, where you have so many things put on the wall. So that is a very good practice. So 5S, our goal is to remove the clutter and chaos from our daily lives. And 5S is basically not going to talk about any technique. What it is telling is 5S is going to be uh, a knowledge which will help us to build up our right attitudes, right mindsets, right habits, and right kind of a discipline. And we have to maintain certain kind of standards for ourselves. So that is what 5S is going to do with us when we follow 5S in the right spirit. So 5S is not a tool or a technique. So when it talks of keeping your house neat and clean, it is not a technique. It is a practice. It is a mindset to keep our house clean. It is an attitude to be disciplined. So coming to one single indicator, key performance indicator of 5S, it would be how fast you can retrieve things when needed or asked for. In my case, the retrieval time for any document or any object would be less than 15 seconds. So that is I have cultivated over a long period of time. But if you spend more than a minute on searching things, then you need to really work on 5S. Another KPI which I have made is how happy do you feel with that experience of giving things in 15 seconds. Your boss will feel very happy when you give him, say, 5 years ago ka kuch manga information, and you are able to give it in 15 seconds. Imagine the kind of happiness that he will express, and imagine the kind of joy that you will feel in giving, feeling his happiness. So, if you are committed and if you are determined, you can do. And this is what is also equivalent. Can do is also an equivalent to 5S. Let us see what is can do. Cleanup, which is the first S series, segregation. Segregating wanted from unwanted and keeping what is required. That is series. The second one is arrange, which is in Japanese sit on. And once you uh, keep your things which are wanted, required, you arrange them in a systematic manner. N is for neatness, which in Japanese is shiso, and which essentially means cleaning and keeping everything in a very tidy manner. D is discipline, and discipline in equivalent to Japan is siketsu, which is maintaining a certain kind of standard. And finally, you've got ongoing improvements, which in Japan it's sitsuke. So this is what I wanted to tell you about 5S. Now, let me tell you how and when we should practice. See, when to a 2-year-old, 3-year-old child, we buy them games like this. There are objects with different shapes, and they have got a fixed place to be kept back. This is what we are trying to teach a toddler. You know, so this is what we should teach them, that there is a fixed place. This is what is an example of peep. A place for everything, everything in its place. There's a place for triangle, there's a place for square, there is a place for circle. Okay, so that is what is the initiation into 5S to even a toddler. Let us come to an example of arrangement. We give a game, two decks, cards of decks are there. One is, having cards in a shuffled, unshuffled manner, and the second one is having in a systematically laid pattern. So when I ask two people, I give one deck to one person A, another one B, and the B has got cards which are properly arranged. And the task for them is take out ace, king, queen, and jack of spades. The two guys start, and the one who has got these arranged in a systematic manner, we can get in the third person who is, we can call him a palmist. He can tell who is going to be a winner, and he knows which has got the deck which is arranged. He'll tell this, he'll be the winner, and he, in fact, he'll be the winner because he'll immediately take out the 4 cards that are asked for, because they are arranged in a sequence. Whereas the other guy A He'll go through all the 52 cards, try to collect one by one. So that is a very interesting game to tell the importance of place for everything in place, and also for the other 5S. Now this is time for question. I have taken about 40 minutes. Yeah, 40 minutes. What I would like to understand from you is your own areas where you feel 5S would really help, and we can also arrive at solutions which can be there for 5S. So I'll stop sharing, and we'll come face to face for discussing what we have just talked.
So I would like to comment here that the ideas that you have shared with practical examples were really eye-opening. We could see there are small things, small changes, which can create a huge impact on our productivity.
Yes.
And saving all the stress.
Yeah, so yes, and I'm sure everybody will have their own experiences for getting not only experiences, day-to-day instances where you have to spend a lot of time looking for a document, looking for an object, including kitchen, which is the most organized. So, uh, and that is where a lot of creativity goes into, making our life simple, life organized.
True, sir. Especially, I can relate to the examples you said for retrieving information, data, files, folders, messages, mails. So I'm sure others also can relate to these examples.
Yes.
Amit sir is asking, how can this be implemented for digital files? There is a lot of clutter with digital files.
Yes. Yeah. I can fully appreciate it because I've undergone the same kind of experience myself. So the biggest thing is here, we have to make as many folders as possible, because if you keep on generating a document, saving as a document, it can be Excel file or a Word file, PowerPoint presentation, that has to have a home. It should stay in some folder. So as soon as we are making a file, we have to think where it will be staying. Okay, so where it will be parked. So I have made a PPT today for RRIS. It will stay in a folder which is called RRIS. Now, naming the file is also very, very important. See, because what will happen is if I just say RRIS 5S, no, I put it RRIS 5S and also the date and initials of Jaya madam, that it is on her request, and Aadharshila ma'am ne ko diya. So that identification is going. So at any future point of time, I will be able to recollect immediately. I don't have to remember. One important thing in 5S or even 7QC is we don't have to stress our mind unnecessarily, because there are so many things to remember, to store, and see. Recalling is something very, very strenuous. We have to make our lives very simple. As far as possible, the things should be visible on their own. So most common thing in kitchen is tea, sugar, and coffee. So they are very prominently and in the arm's reach. They are there. So that is what is a practice by everyone. There's a question here. Same version. If the same file is there, so you put it the version number. The best thing to do is on the top of the file, you have space for version number. So if it is version 1, put the date on which you have changed it and what prompted that change. That also you record, because at future point of time you will need this justification. So for yourself, So as many I'll tell you. I'm using iPad, so there are many versions coming up in iOS, and they have happened too many times. It is 14.1 point something something. So every 15 days, 20 days, there is a version change, a version upgrade. So to keep a track, when we are doing it, we should have a space in our document and 3 columns there: version number, version date, kab humne change, and what prompted for a change. So that is going to be a good practice.
Right, sir. And this is what we have learned for maintaining our ISO related documents, as the
Yes,
school is an ISO certified
yes,
institution. And
yes,
under sir's guidance, we have learned how to create SOPs, how to have versions of SOPs, how to maintain which version is what prompted us to make that version.
yes, yes.
The same
Uh,
can be applied to other
yes,
documents.
and let me tell you, all documents, I say
Right.
all documents have to be dynamic, and we must understand what we mean by this. See, if you contrast, dynamic is stagnant. One document, one policy we have for 10 years together. So an auditor will ask you, nothing has prompted you to review or change it, which will not have a good answer from us. So any document, and so nobody can say कि आप इतना क्यों change करते रहते हो document. The thing is, we are applying our mind, we are applying our intellect to it, and we are coming up with changes. And that is the sign of progress. That is the sign that somebody is reading it. Yeah. So
Right.
if somebody does frequent changes in their document, it should be encouraged.
Very true, sir. Very true. Miss Das is also contributing with wonderful ideas.
Yeah.
Sir, I wanted to also add here, while listening to you, one thing that has struck me, which I'm going to do now. What
Yeah.
I was doing is, let's say I have given some sessions on a particular topic at
Yes.
various platforms.
Yes.
So I had to tweak the same session according to the time limit given to me. So let's say if it is a session on leadership, so
Yeah.
at one forum, I'm speaking on it for 15 minutes only
Yeah.
as a panelist. Other where
Yeah.
I'm a keynote speaker speaking for 25 minutes.
Yes.
Somewhere where I'm a expert who is delivering it for 1 hour. So
Yes.
there have been changes in the number of slides and the content. So what
Yes.
I had done was, there was one folder, let's say leadership, and
Yes.
all those different versions are there in it. What
Yes.
I felt now is, in the description for each file, now I can add on the number of slides itself. That would indirectly tell me, okay, if I'm looking for the shorter one,
Madam,
let me go
yes,
here.
madam, this is what I have done even today. In my PPT that I have made, if you need certain more pictures to on a certain point, I've got slides ready. So I can just come to those and show. So our main PPT should have as many slides as possible. The
Right.
one which is suiting X occasion should have certain numbers, Y occasion certain number, and you can go on modifying according to the
Right.
need. So
So
that
the
is a very good
master
practice.
presentation. So what I understand
Master,
from you is that the biggest one is our master presentation,
that's a
which is
master
the
presentation.
resourceful. It's a
Yes, it
main
is a
resource
complete
from where
resource
we
in
can
itself.
pick up.
It is a
Yes.
complete resource in itself, and
Right.
depending upon the requirement of a particular group audience, you can
Right.
keep on modifying. So that is a very good practice. Yes.
Absolutely, sir. So I was only mentioning where I have spoken this, but what I understood today is, why don't I add more information, like
Yeah.
number of slides in each one? It will be
Yes.
easier to pick up at a particular time what to take out.
Yes. Yes. Correct.
And there is
And
one folder.
yeah, one folder we have to make. Like, see, to cite my own example, I have got management systems on 9001 on quality, 14,001 on environment, 45,001 on energy, safety and health, and 51 for energy. Now, four management systems, but there are 6 companies for each. Okay, so my Apex folder is going to be the system, which is 9001. There I have got folders for RR Cable Silvassa, Ramratna Wires, MEW Electrical. So they are the separate folders. But within the folders, then they have got 9001, 14,001, 51,001. So that is how it flows. So basically, what skill we will require is organization skill is needed, so that things are easily retrievable. When I said I'd find my documents in 15 seconds, 15 seconds is a very short time. They pass just in a jiffy. So, but I'm able to do it. So, I would like to know from others, if you were to retrieve a file from your laptop or from your computer, how much time do you take? Can somebody respond? If you were to, if I tell you, can you give me an internal audit report of 2020, 2019? How much time will you take? Maybe a minute?
Would the participants answer? You can type, you can even unmute and
please unmute.
so we,
Please unmute.
so we are
The
getting
responses
answers like
are
5 to 10, maybe 1 minute. Search for audit folder. Very good strategy. Yeah.
yeah. So best thing is when we are talking of audits, there should be a folder in 9001 internal audits. Internal audits. Then there are years 2019, 2020, 2021. That's it. So basically, what it calls for is some kind of creative thinking, you know, and even
Even
5S
children can
audits.
teach us sometime.
Yeah.
I think today's generation, we especially being teachers, we are in touch with the young generation and they
Yes.
are full of ideas. I learned one thing from my daughter, which I would just
Yes.
like to briefly
Yeah.
share.
Yeah.
You know, what happens is there are certain things which I constantly need or
Yeah.
I constantly need to put messages on. For example, there is a collection of Bhagavad Gita audios, videos, PDFs, which I'm constantly
Yes.
working
Yes.
upon. So, you
Yes.
know, searching that folder and then putting things here and there becomes difficult. Secondly, if I come across various videos which I might like to read later, books which I might like to read later, watch later.
Yeah.
So I have named that group as, I made a group with my daughter myself on
Yes.
on the WhatsApp, removed her. So
Yeah.
it's only me, but there is a group created. I call it
Yes.
as treasure trove. What my
Yeah.
daughter taught me is when I was sending there, you know, searching for
Yeah.
something, she said, why don't you pin it? So I have got
Yes.
3 groups pinned. 3 groups are
Yes.
pinned on my WhatsApp.
Yes.
Number 1 is Gita audios.
Yes.
Number 2 is treasure trove.
Yes.
Number 3 is calendar. So like today there were 3 events, whatever, everything there goes in the calendar and I don't have to search for the folder.
Yes.
These are
Yes.
the 3 pinned ones and I
Yes.
thank my daughter for teaching me this. It was one of the 5S techniques I would say
Absolutely.
which helped
Absolutely.
me.
Yeah. Very good. Very nice. I'll tell you. See, I'm sending him some perk. I'm making it daily, and it goes and I keep it month-wise into a folder, month folder. But what happens is there is a folder for January, February, March, April. These folders get organized alphabetically. So what I've done is I put a number 01 January, 02 February, 03 March. Now what will happen is now the storage will be in the same order, right from January to December. Otherwise, the storage will be decided by computer in alphabetical order. So you have to think about ideas which will work for you. Yeah. So, any questions from? See, I'm sure everybody must be having problems with in regard to uh, retrieving things. And see, this is a very true fact. We lose almost 1 to 2 years. Productive time goes into looking for things. So, अगर आपको अपनी उम्र को 2 साल बढ़ाना है, तो ये 5S को अच्छी तरह implement करने की आवश्यकता है. So, if we want to be highly productive and above that happy and joyous, it is very important that the time that we spend in looking for things we eliminate. Can we?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, can we take one problem area from everyone and then come to a solution for it?
So friends, please speak up. You can unmute and directly speak up. Or if you wish, you can type. Mention the area without any hesitation where you think you need more organization. We are together here as a group.
Namaste, ma'am. Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
Sir, I now we have a summer break coming up. So I am taking this as a task for my summer vacation to sort out my files from last 4 to 5 years which I'm working. I have some.
Excellent.
I am working as a PRO in the school, but as well
Yes.
as I'm a teacher as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this summer vacation, I will sort out all the material
Excellent.
for my admin work and for my
Excellent.
teaching work in different folders.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes, thank you,
Very,
sir.
very
It
good.
was very enriching session.
See, regarding documents, let me state one fact. We receive lot of papers coming from different organizations, and we have a tendency to file them. And that file document will never be seen in next 5 years also. Then why are we filing them? the best thing is to get rid of the papers instead of making a bulky file, because जितना file bulky हुआ उतना हमारे सिर पर भी बोझ बढ़ते जाएगा. We should understand that. Okay, so whatever is not required, we must not keep it. There is a remark, we should have digital file. Very good. Digitize your records as far as possible. Okay, and then another thing which I'll tell everyone here is, जो हमारे घर के documents होते हैं, we have a car का insurance policy है, medical policy है, lot of important documents are there at our homes. Instead of making 2-10 different files, just keep all the documents of important documents into a single file, so that you have to look for these documents only in one file. You don't have to look for, the point is very simple. If there are 2 files or 3 files, you are creating confusion. Then you have to look for A file and B file also. So what good practice is, all your important documents at home must be kept in one single file. That's it. Folders is a good thing. Yes, folders we have talked. Search for important. Yeah, there's a remark that searching becomes very difficult. Searching will become difficult because of our nomenclature. Because what we are typing the title. As I said, the clarity of the file should be there. If I say Him Sampark, April, today's 26th, and today is say International Design Day, whatever. I just put International INT Design Day first. That's it. So I don't have to recollect कि 25th or 26th April का क्या था. The title itself is telling. So searching of bills or documents. Yeah, somebody is confessing that they have problems in finding the bills and all. So first, have a fixed place. As I said, the fixed place is one single file. Keep one single file for all your documents. You can have a box file, you can have a small plastic folder file, and that is where your document should go. And the best thing is, if you have got these plastic pockets, you keep those documents in single pockets and have color identification or title written over there. That is a good practice. So essentially what it is meaning is, what it is calling for is some 2 steps extra that you have to take. File it, but also put a tag, identification mark, which will help you in the future. So by spending half a minute extra today, I'll save 5 minutes later. So that is what will be the message, you know. So it is very interesting, you know, to talk to everyone. And 5S is basically, again, I'm repeating, 5S has to do with my own set of attitudes, my own habits, and the kind of discipline that I exert myself on my affairs, on my things. So I have to look at those. And when these things happen, there'll be discipline in the home, there'll be neatness. The third S, which is there, Siton. I'll put a tag. Yeah, identification of text is amazing. And color papers are available. You can prepare tags of different colors. Or if you got white paper, you use different color inks. So you use sketch pen, different color sketch pen. I have a complete set of ribbons, different color ribbons. So one thing that I do immediately is, if I've got, recently our neighbors, they wanted to keep their key to be kept in our house, duplicate key to be kept in our house. He just gave the key. The first thing I did was, I put a thread, a ribbon in that, and I put the house number there. So there, it was a clear identification that this key belongs to flat number 301. Imagine if I don't do it, then the kind of experience I'll have to undergo looking for the key. And then if there are 2-3 keys, then again there's a complete complication I'm creating for myself. Yeah. So
Right,
Yeah. So
I
5S
think
is,
that the setting of cupboards, closets, our own wardrobes,
yeah,
it helps a lot.
yeah,
Especially, it would differ from person to person, because are you driven by colors, or are you driven by the kind of clothes? Like you want to search only for tops
yeah,
separately, or you
yeah,
want to look for black things. So you have to know what is your attitude,
yeah.
what is it that you look for, and
Yes,
accordingly you have to find your own method of sorting,
yes,
arranging, and
yes,
systematizing
yes, yes.
and
Correct.
changing. Like sir said, it's dynamic thing, because your
Yeah,
needs would also change, your likings would
yeah,
change.
yeah,
So we
yeah,
have to keep
yeah.
implementing this.
Yeah. And see, when you said dynamic, you are thinking all the time, and you are making improvements all the time. This habit of making improvements, it is so ingrained, deeply ingrained in Japanese. Uh, they will look for, they will ask themselves that if a certain thing can be done in a better way, can it be done better? So that is what we have to keep on asking ourselves.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's the
So
growth mindset.
growth mindset. Yeah. So now another thing I do ask myself when I do something, the question that I'm going to ask myself is after this session, can I do this session better? So where did I go wrong, or where does a certain thing needs improvement?
Right.
So these are the kind of points that I'll
Yes.
ponder and then try to improve.
So this brings to my mind one particular thing that I see many times in people,
Yes, yes,
which happens with all of us. We,
yes.
on certain aspects, we say this is how it has been done, or this is how it happens. हम ऐसा ही करते हैं, या ये ऐसा ही होता है. It
Nice.
means we have put blinders on, and we are just
Yes,
going to
yes.
continue doing the same without analyzing time to time whether there is an improvement needed, there is a change needed, and
Yes.
what is driving this change. Are we doing it just for the sake of, for the heck of doing a change, or it is really needed?
You
On
have,
what basis?
yeah,
Yes.
Madam, you have touched a very important point. In factory, in our company's organization, also we have got many people like this, and particularly the stalwarts who have been there for a long time. With them,
Yes.
there's a problem of accepting newer ideas, newer concepts. So
Right.
they resort to since there is a problem with them. Let me be very frank. Since there is a problem with them, they do not want to accept it. So they'll resort to this kind of a statement कि हम तो इतने सालों से क्या आ रहे हैं, हमने तो ऐसे किया है. That is very wrong. I call them as the biggest speed breakers. In the organization, they are the speed breakers. They will not
Right.
allow others who are behind to go ahead of them. So
And
we have
would
to be
also not
very.
change their own ways.
It's true. It is very true, and we have to be wary of people who are making a statement like this that हम तो ऐसे ही करते आ रहे हैं. मतलब
हाँ.
there is
या
something
ये
wrong.
ऐसे ही होता है,
ये
ये
तो ऐसे
ऐसे
होता
ही
है.
होता है, या हम
That
ऐसे ही कर.
very very dangerous people.
Right, sir. So I would like to invite Miss Lakshmi Nair, who is the trustee of a group of schools in Jamshedpur, Kerala Public School, run by Kerala Samajam. Ma'am,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure to have you. I would like to know your thoughts on this session, and if you have any questions to ask, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I thank Jaya for inviting me for every session which she conducts through Aadharshila, and I appreciate your enthusiasm, the way you go about it. And sir, this is actually the need of the hour, and in my house this is a topic which comes out every day because my husband, he is very very particular about keeping things in their places, and I am the one who you know does it in a little different way. So yes, this is the need of the hour, and I think being organized makes you a better person, and every day you have something to learn, and and it makes your life very easy, and it makes you very very efficient. Thank you so much.
Rightly said, Lakshmi. I'm sorry, I think I disturbed Vishnu from his sleep.
No, not at all.
He had to get up and convey my apologies.
I
So,
have actually invaded his room.
I could see that. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Anybody else who would like to speak up? This truly has been an eye-opening session, sir. We owe so much to you. You have always guided us to become better managers at what we do, self-management and our work management. People are accepting, confessing that there is a lot of change needed, a lot of clutter which remains scattered. And so, do you agree with this thought that the physical clutter leads to mental clutter also?
Absolutely, absolutely. I showed that picture where there are so many papers and files that are kept. I'm afraid how the person who's the most intelligent person, I said, what kind of frame of mind he must be working with, you know.
Right.
So physical clutter is immediately going to lead to mental clutter. And once you have mental clutter, your productivity is going to be nil, almost nil.
Agreed.
So that is why, you know, and that is what 5S is trying to drive away. It is going to eliminate clutter. When we see 1S, 2S, 3S, 4S, and 5S, 5S is the highest level of 5S, where
Right.
things are standardized and disciplined. So we are trying to come to a great state, physical state, right? Physical clutter hoini, which is ultimately going to encourage uh, mental declutter.
Absolutely.
So,
Well said, sir.
yeah.
So, all the best to everyone who has pledged today here. I have got the proofs. I'm going to save these comments and check with you after a few days. How is your organizing happening? Is it becoming better? I can see many people,
And
telling us that they have taken these tips.
I have a request to make. If somebody is coming up with unique ideas for any of these things that we have talked, like thrift or making small objects, magnifying them and trying to make them more prominent, so they can share those tips with me, you know, and maybe we can, as a pool, we can share all these tips with everybody.
That's
What we do,
fantastic.
maybe I can share a lot of things which are happening in the factory with you. How certain, like I shared, all tools and tackles, we have huge boards where they are, including the size and including the shape. The drawing is there. If there are scissors, there's a shape of scissors, and you do put it there, the space assigned there. So that is something very good. And let me tell you, when people come and see all these kinds of things happening, a customer seeing these kinds of things happening at suppliers end, they'll be prompted to buy from us. So good things will happen.
Right, sir. So, everyone, please feel free to share such ideas when you
Uh,
come across them or when you implement new ideas, and then we'll share with sir and we'll create a shared pool of ideas.
so we should leave with one particular pledge, that there is one area where we will declutter through using one of those tips or techniques that you may say. And what is it that we'll report in 1 week's time to you? All the teachers and faculty should report it to you, madam, and you can share.
Sure.
Yeah, and since I'm in the group, you can post in the group.
Oh, yes. In the Hem Sampark group, I
No,
can. Hema
Aadharshila,
Foundation.
Aadharshila group
Aadharshila
is,
group. Yes, yes. Of
yeah,
course. I'll put it there. So we will look forward to your feedback on how you have
yeah,
implemented
yeah,
these tips.
yeah. And we can
Right.
announce one best best improvement, best Kaizen done uh, in the next 2 months, meaning May and June.
Wow.
We can receive, and RR is going to reward that Kaizen.
So that is fantastic. So,
Okay.
friends, there is going to be an award for the best Kaizen, a person who would be able to show that there has been an improvement in the way they have been managing things by implementation of their creative ideas. It could be based on 5S or however, you have brought that change. Fantastic.
Yes.
So we have learned the concept of Kaizen from you and would just like you to know that one of our happy practices is to award Kaizen certificates to our students who
Yes.
show continuous improvement. It's not for the
Yes.
toppers, but it is for those students who have shown
Yes.
continuous improvement.
Yes.
This is to honor the children's dedication
Yes.
and the
True.
spirit to grow and to work.
True.
So
Very good.
I just wanted to let you know this. The
Yeah,
credit
this is
for
amazing.
bringing that sense of Kaizen in me goes to you.
Amazing. This is something fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was
Yeah.
a great pleasure to listen to you and to learn from you. Thanks to all the
Yeah.
participants. Uh, I
Thank you very
wish
much.
you all stay happy, safe.
Yeah. Stay safe and let us hope